this is how my project began. How to add value through sharing. I think at the beginning of this project I did not actually know what the final outcome would be, but this is the question that I was very interested in exploring. And this comes from generally the idea that, okay, now we have the internet, and the internet means each individual person can publish to the entire world, right? So what does that mean for an institution like a library? And so what I tried to do is spend time talking to the different people in the library, trying to understand how the Teachers College works, how the library works, what people are doing already, what are the practical limitations of copyright, all these other things. Trying to understand all the angles of the problem. I think I saw something yesterday, which I thought was really, not yesterday, 2 days ago, I was in Michigan. I was at the Henry Ford Museum, and the Henry Ford Museum was started by Henry Ford, and it has a history of automobiles. It also has a history of all these old, gigantic power sources, steam generators and things like that. And this was one of the plaques on this machine. It was 25 feet tall, and it was built in 1710 to solve a specific problem, pumping water out of deep mines. But before long, it was used to supply water to canals and cities, and by the 1780s, it was powering factories. And I think that this really kind of is an important point in this sharing information thing, is that we so often don't know what the things we're doing are useful for. So often scientific discoveries, scientific inventions are not what we originally intended. And it's a secondary effect that makes them turn out to be something special. It's so often that you read about some discovery and so-and-so was looking for a new type of aspirin and discovered something else along the way. And so I think that's part of what is behind the whole sharing idea, is that there is more. All the little things that we do often can have a butterfly effect to something bigger when combined with the points of view of other people. And then along those lines, this is another thing that is been on my mind a lot while doing this project, and it just says information, mutation, evolution, and replication. It's kind of reversed all around. But certainly we understand that what's going on all the time is this slow process of evolution, and things are being repeated, and they're changing, and they're going on in parallel. We have 6 billion people in the world, and we have hundreds of thousands of people online exchanging information. And information, unlike a sandwich, where if I give you my sandwich, I don't have a sandwich anymore. But if I give you an MP3, I can still have the MP3, or a text file, or my blog, or something like that. This is this thing that duplicates for free, right? And that's the power of sharing. But of course, things take time. This is theoretical. What is the practical? So the broadcaster, this is a device I've been working on here. There still are some. It's basically just a booth with a computer and a little camera, and I had it set up for a while. I'm re-editing the code, but this is what will be set up in the library in the fall for my final installation. And the idea here is that trying to add value, can you add value to a physical location by creating easy access to the public domain? Easy access to a archival sort of documentation stream in terms of a suggestion box, a microphone, a filing cabinet, a common memory, an easily accessible common memory, and easily makes it easy for you to leave a note for the next person. So someone coming through the library checks out a book, and they may say, when they bring that book back, they may say, I got this book I thought it was great, especially this passage on page 74. Check this book out if you're interested in X, Y, or Z. Or maybe you would come into the library and you would come in and you wouldn't know exactly what you're looking for, and you might leave a note that says, I'm looking for information about X, Y, and Z. If anybody knows, let me know. And then this lives on in a YouTube channel or something like that. Essentially what this device is it's somewhere in between a public telephone, a photo booth, a video game of some sort. It has a very simple interface, 1 or 2 buttons at most. You go in, you press the button, you leave a 30 to 60 second note, you press the button again to say that you're done, and that's it. And then that video is uploaded onto a YouTube channel or similar, and people can comment, people can search, everything is stamped by the time and date so you can find it again. And this is a way to have to allow a sort of public conversation to happen about the physical space. And along those lines, something that I've been carrying around this green little camera over there as well, sort of documenting my own days. And as I've been doing that, I was thinking about one additional thing that I would also like to try to implement, but I'm not sure if I'll have time, but I will also just leave the idea with you because I don't think it's that difficult to do if someone else is interested. And that's the idea of a time-lapse public wall. So you imagine that this right here can be a normal, any portion of this is a normal collaborative space. And there are fancy whiteboards out there where you have the pen and you draw with the pen and it has sensors and it records what you're doing and things like that. So this type of technology exists, but at the same time it's still maybe a little bit awkward and you have to use the special pen, you can't use post-it notes, or you can't move things around in the same way. But the idea of this is that you would just have like the little green camera I have, or there's software for laptops, so you could have a laptop set up here and a camera, and you could just spend an hour in your normal group form working at the whiteboard, and then at the end of the hour, a short time-lapse video that's 1 minute long is uploaded to the YouTube channel. And that way, you have a memory of your hour-long meeting, and that memory is short enough and condensed enough that you know you'll have time to look at it later. Whereas if you record a video of your whole meeting, chances are you're not going to watch an hour-long video of your meeting, right? No meeting is that interesting. And if it is, and if you know that the time lapse is running, really all you have to do is sort of pause for 30 or 60 seconds on something. You know that it's been captured. You can erase it and move along, and you know you can come find that later. So those are the two very sort of practical, local actions that I'm interested in enabling here, allowing it, just trying to make, rather than adding some fancy system, what's a relatively simple system we can add that makes it really easy for everyone to speak publicly. And I understand that obviously many people here produce videos, many people here have programs to add things to YouTube, but there's also something about the pressure and the professionalism of the high quality videos that come out of this lab. And so for someone to make a really short, informal 30, 60-second video may seem awkward, but in the context of this is, and the previous broadcaster, that's the only function of the machine. And so you know when you use that machine, it's a low quality video. You're not too excited about the production value, you just have a note that you want to post, and you want that note to be quick and dirty. And then that sort of noisy, not so clean stream runs underneath your normal stream of highly produced sort of special video programs.